Happy New Year, y'all. Is it too late to say Happy New Year? Anywho, so remember last year I told y'all that this year we definitely gonna get into a little bit more spicy topics on the podcast. Um, we're gonna keep it big and tall around here, but we expanding the big and tall into, things other big and tall men do. Like have sex. You know? So if you got the kiddos in the room, this next conversation is going to be spicy. So put the headphones on and enjoy. Get ready for a wild ride. This next episode is called Can You Put the Tip In? And you can begin to listen right after this commercial break. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the XL Tribesmen podcast. Today I have my good friend Jelani here.
Hey.
And this episode we're going to talk about gay sex. Now, I'm kidding. But we're talking about sex, though. I don't know if it's gay or we're talking about sex.
Straight to it.
Yeah,
Actually, it's not really straight to it if it's gay sex.
Yeah.
But
Drum roll. We're talking about curve sex. But I wanted... so, you guys know I do this series where we talk about relationships, the XL dating series, and so I decided that not only did I want to test out my new setup, but I thought it would be a great opportunity because, my normal co-host is Daryl, and he's straight, and so I wanted to give y'all a different perspective today. And so I said, what better way than have Jelani on?
he said, let's just have the full freak on because he just sleeps with everything.
I did not say that. I don't know where that came from.
It's fine. It works for me. And in case anyone is interested, I am pansexual, so I'm open to all. So, the odds ever be in your favor.
Oh, wow. He's all right. Go for it. We're going to make that part a clip so you can just...
Equal opportunity. Shoot your shot. Let's go.
Load it up and do.
Right. That's a chopper. No, it's a 22.
I don't know where the fuck that came from.
So what I want to know is so what's your journey been like in this, finding yourself, especially sexually? Because I know that as you grow older, there's you get to different places in your sexual journey. So what has that been like for you?
Well, I would
pansexual.
I would definitely say I've learned a lot about myself over the years as far as sexuality is concerned. Those titles have changed.
Oh yeah, there were other things before.
Absolutely, there was certainly a time in my life I was very closeted, and just for the sake of, I guess, comfort, I would only identify as heterosexual, or I would, just kind of throw the bi-curious, term out there, even though I knew that, not to quote Gaga, but I definitely feel that I was born this way.
Baby.
And just in regards to always being attracted to both or I want to say all sexes, because there are more things, we can go into those layers of sexuality versus actual gender and gender identity.
Those are two different things, people.
Right.
They're two different things.
Absolutely. And then, we've had these private conversations of me even navigating through, I wasn't sure if I was more asexual, demisexual, because though I am very sensual, I do enjoy intimacy. I was kind of navigating through the parts of I don't really care for intercourse too much. I'll do it.
I want y'all to understand. I don't understand that. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I do not understand. I need intercourse 99.99.
Wait, did you say anal course? Did you say anal course? Run that back.
I did not. We're gonna do instant refill.
Okay.
I did not say that. I said intercourse.
Okay.
I did not say anal.
Hashtag anal course. There's a new word that we are putting out into the atmosphere. You heard it here first.
Oh my God, I created a new word. If I did say that, that would be dope. But no, I did not. I don't think I said intercourse, but
yeah, it's a space. It's not that I despise it or I'm not opposed to doing it. However, I feel like, especially if I'm having what I would consider like non-relationship sex, I don't like to call it just hooking up because the people that I am intimate with, I do have attachments to them nonetheless. Like, that's one of the things that I have to navigate through as well with dating is I'm a person that's more into, again, when it comes to like sensuality and intimacy, I prefer that like meeting of the minds, the sapiosexual type of vibe. I'm more interested in just getting to know that person.
I mean, you're just dropping all the sexuals like these people know what they.
Listen, come on. So
I feel like I'm in a dictionary for this
a
episode.
sapiosexual is a person that prefers mental stimuli before physical, interaction. And it's so like, if you can fuck my mind first.
I feel like I'm like that, but I don't want to add no new layers, no new.
I mean, it is what it is.
But I do feel like that. You gotta.
I do think it's important to be accepting of all of those aspects of yourself, because in acknowledging those things, that's how you also set better boundaries for yourself at the same time as well. And again, I believe in sex positivity. I think that sometimes we tend to put stigmas on certain words, and so
we can.
I don't really care for. I'm not opposed to anybody that's down with hooking up. Listen, you like to play, you want to just go out and have your fun. There ain't nothing wrong with that, especially if you are honest and things are being done with consent. Do what you want to do. Stick it, lick it, suck it, fuck it, whatever.
But
you
I
want to
always keep it honest.
But keep it honest. I always say, if you're gonna be a hoe,
be an honest hoe. And that's a hoe. Mary had a little lamb.
So yeah, just navigating through all of those things, and again, if I'm in a relationship, it's like no holds barred. I'm open to everything. I'm always willing to try everything almost everything at least once.
I was about to say.
Almost.
Do we want to test your limits over here?
Like, I'm into. It's funny. I say I'm vanilla when it comes to like kinks and fetishes.
Nice.
I am. But I'm like open to try things. However, there are things that are like non-negotiables, and I want to be very clear about that as well. Ooh. Like, I ain't messing with no scat play. If y'all don't know what scat play,
Google
that's
that.
People, playing with the Brown Town. Y'all can Google the rest. We're not gonna dive into that too much. I'm not into any type of like blood vomit play, because that's a thing for people as well.
I did not consider those were plays, but okay.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
See, now this making me feel like I have to draw my line at the sand.
Right. But I can get a little kinky, because like I always say, if you really want to turn me on, you got to say those special, 3 words to me in the bedroom.
I love you.
Spit on me. That's actually the words.
Wait, that is not vanilla. There is nothing on spitting that's vanilla.
Like I said, I can get a little kinky.
He lying to us, child.
But for the most part,
for
the most part, I like to just have a good old intimate session. I want to have conversation while we are doing what we're doing. I want to know if you enjoy what I'm doing to you. I want you to know what I like. And listen, I'm cool with that. If there's something I'm doing, please, by all means, say if you don't like it.
You doing too much talking. I'll tell you that already.
Nah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, it's not like I'm like literally trying to have like a full blown conversation. But yeah, I want to talk while we're doing what we're doing. Like,
Oh, when you talking, you said don't fuck me like that, fuck me like this. Talking?
yeah,
Okay, that's
that
cool.
too.
I was like, we're not talking about like.
I mean, I'm not
Okay.
talking about like talking like while I'm digging in it. I'm like, yeah, babe. So you want to have a sandwich after this? Do you want pastrami or do you want turkey on it? Like, not that kind of conversation.
I was about to say because that's not the kind of beat.
But then I mean that could be a thing too. Some people are into food play during
You know
sex.
what? The plays that are available just don't end.
Listen, I've learned not to kink shame, but I definitely know what it is that I'm not into at the same time. Like this. So yeah, check this out. You know that I am an adult content provider.
I know that. I don't think they know.
Okay. Well, now y'all know that I'm an adult content provider. I do have an OnlyFans. And one of the things that has been the most interesting about that, more than it being like liberating and freeing for me to explore my sexuality, learn things about myself, I've learned a lot about other people in the way that it's things that I could be doing that I may not even necessarily deem that sexual, that somebody else could be so turned on by.
Oh, I know. Like eating waffles in your underwear.
Right.
Yes.
The
people go up on a Tuesday.
I've got some, and shout out to my amazing fans and supporters that I have. You know, y'all are super dope. I enjoy the conversations and the engagement that I get from y'all because y'all help me to actually create the content that I put out there.
We need to break for a caveat for that one. People don't understand how important it is for your audience to chime in. Like, I can create the content that you're looking for if you just tell me what you're looking for.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even I struggle with that in this business. Like, I started this whole Excel dating series because I saw there was a need for it because someone asked a question that really was like, why don't I talk about that on my podcast? And I was just like,
yeah.
Adding that. But
Yeah.
if that person never asked that question, it never would have sparked like, oh, why don't I talk about dating on my podcast? Right? So, like, your audience telling you, hey, like, I like peanut butter and jelly in tidy whities, help you like create that specific content, and then you find out, oh, I got 12 new fans today because who knew you liked peanut butter
and I mean, it could be as nuanced as, listen, I don't have said tidy whities that you want me to wear, so here's my Amazon list for you to go on there and give me the underwear that I want. You know, I happen to love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, so it's not a problem for you. Ain't saying nothing to me, telling me you want to see me eat. Because if there's one thing I'm gonna do in this life,
we gonna eat.
And so, yeah, again, you know, it's cool to actually have that engagement with them and kind of get an understanding, and like I said, actually be able to like get into the minds of my followers to see what things they are actually into. And I realize because I'm giving them this space, it allows them to have a safe, non-judgmental space to talk about those things as well. Because not everyone is as lucky as you and I are. I don't know a lot of people who have friends that they can have this type of actual dialogue with. And you might ask that question of like, oh, well, why do you call them friends? But some people just have people that they compartmentalize in the way that they do. And they know that their friends wouldn't be like, I don't know, comfortable with those types of conversations. And again, you know, I think I've won what I call the friend lottery. I've won some amazing friends in my life that I'm grateful that I can like literally talk to them about anything.
Yeah.
The friend
lottery.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's. I have one person that like, he's really into pickles. This is weird, guys, but he sends me very large amounts of pickles, and he has the same ones, and so like that's what he wants to talk about is like the taste of these pickles, be them hot, sweet, or whatever. But then of course he just wants to see the video of, and it's like. I could do this for you butt naked if you want, but it's like no, just shirtless is cool, and just like talk about the taste and keep the mic close. He's like very into like the ASMR sounds.
I'm gonna tell y'all
the
something.
mukbang sounds of it as well.
So I had a whole idea about creating, and I want to find a network to see if this exists like already. Like I want to create a podcast about sex, but I want to do it a little differently. Like it's not going to be like this. I'm not telling y'all what it is because y'all can get my idea. But I want to do a sex podcast, like a whole sex podcast. I'm so intrigued. Y'all been listening to Shan Booty's Lovers and Friends podcast. And I realized that I know nothing, like absolutely nothing about sex.
I'm here for XL After Dark. Let's do it.
And we just go filming.
Yeah, absolutely.
On camera?
Yeah.
On camera? Oh, I like that.
Oh, and with my Karen hand, calm down. By the time you see this, it's already copywritten. So...
Because
but absolutely, it's a necessity for that, because again, we need to have spaces where we can have these conversations, feel like we're in a judgment-free zone, and not. I want to say like not even just Black queer spaces, but just Black folks in general, because you know how much of a taboo.
We have a lot
of conversations for us in our community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's not to derail, but I was going to add this too. A lot of our sexuality that a lot of us may not realize is also rooted in trauma as well. And I've gone through some things. I've experienced some things. I am a rape survivor. I'm a sexual assault survivor. I'm a molestation survivor. And all of those things have obviously, molded me in ways with the things that I'm into, the things that I like also shy away from. So like going back to like the kinky kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. There's some things that I'm like totally into, but like it's triggering for me. I've been in like sexual situations where somebody wants me to like choke them. And as much as that like may feel sexy for them, mm-hmm. I literally can't bring myself to do it. Me like putting my hands around someone's neck, it like reverses back to like, I remember that space. It brings me into that dark place of knowing what it's like to be roofied, know what it's like to like not have control over your own body. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I can't perform at that point anymore. And so this also goes back to like the conversational part. So I'm one of those people where like, yeah, like I'm like, I want to talk about it. Like, let's talk about sex before we do it. Just so we can feel more comfortable in that space. Consent is so important.
Consent is sexy, people.
Yeah.
It allows sex to flow freer. It allows you to let your inhibitions go. Yeah. I do feel like we don't talk about sex enough. We just assume. That's what I was learning on the podcast, that men specifically, we just assume everything with sex. We know nothing, but we assume everything.
And when you project the desires that you have from that person, mm-hmm. versus actually trying to understand what it is that they desire, you don't even realize the space of like mental rape that you put yourself in. Because you're literally making that person uncomfortable as fuck. Sometimes in those spaces, I've been in those awkward situations where I'm just like, fuck, this is awkward, and I really want to fucking say something, but I really like this person, and I don't want to mess up this experience. So like, I'm kind of going with it, and then it's like after the fact, I'm just like, why did you do that to yourself?
Yep.
Yeah.
I know those feelings. I had that feeling a lot of my 20s.
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Yep. But no, if I just stick it through, they might like me tomorrow.
Right.
It's the worst. It's the worst. So yeah, I guess when you say it like that, then I'm okay with the talking, because understanding what the other person needs or want is very, very important, which is why we need to talk more about sex as a whole.
Yeah.
So what I want to know then, okay, so being what was the word you called the content creation? There was a word you said.
Adult content.
Oh, he's an adult content creator. As an adult.
Yes.
I'm a regular content creator. No, not regular. I'm a content creator. He's an adult content creator.
There you have it.
So, I want to know, does that, being an adult content creator, does that translate? Do you see or feel any sort of discrimination because you're a big guy in that space? Or is it love, respected? Like, what is it like?
It's a couple of things. So, I do think that there's a level of privilege that obviously comes with being a so like I consider myself a queer black man, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a level of privilege that comes to black men that are masculine presenting. Let's not act like that's not a thing.
Oh, it's a thing. It's a thing.
And so yes, I do feel like there's
thing.
like a pedestal that guys like that are certainly put on, but then there's also expectation that comes along with it as well.
Yes.
So
there's a lot of expectation.
Right.
So
like, now with like the adult cosplays and the other things that I do, again, I'm very explorative, I'm very fluid, I'm very open. And so it's just like, oh, like, I saw you in this particular way. I didn't like that you wore that Jubilee, cosplay. Like, that's feminine that you have in, like, that pink, or, like, that you're wearing a crop top. And I'm like, it's hard sometimes in those spaces because, yes, you are a subscriber. I appreciate that you support and, like my content, but you also don't have the allowance to tell me what I can do with my body either. And it's like, please understand that as much as I appreciate your engagement, I love the fact that, you fuck with me, but like, your $10 a month is not doing that much for me that you think you can fuck with me.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. One of them is good and one of them is bad.
Yeah. And then and then it's and like you said, being a bigger guy in that space, so many other things that come along with it too. Because then it's like, I get the feeders who want me to be bigger.
Oh yeah, that's a thing, y'all. That's a thing.
Yeah. Then I get the other ones who are just like, you would be so much hotter if you lost 20 pounds. So it's a lot of that. That's in there as well. Yeah.
So you want to come on my little corner of the internet and you want to tell me what I want to do with my corner of the internet? A
lot of people, unfortunately, think, and so like, I'm sure content creators in general can understand this, or influencers in general can understand this, that people think subscription equals allowance to autonomy.
Yes, I can see that. Because in a way, right, I can definitely see that. Especially as a consumer as well, I'm literally paying your bills. Like, literally, not even figuratively.
Yeah.
So it does create a certain level of, I don't want to say control, but I'm going to say control.
Yeah.
And so how do you tote that line? Because, like, I mean, it's easy to get lost in the dollars.
It is.
People are paying you $10.99.
And so, I mean, for example, like, here's like my set of rules. Like, I get a lot of people who are they're upset that, like, even with my adult content, they want to see me like interacting and engaging with other people. All of my content is just me. It's all solo content. That's one.
Oh, you don't add multiple people.
I do not.
Okay.
And like that's my own thing, you know.
Okay.
No, I'm not. I don't have any issue with people that are sex workers or that that videotape, whether it's them having sex with their partners or sex with a client. But it's just something that I guess is connected to that whole mental connection, that whole mental stimulation, that whole intimacy space. I just personally feel that the way that I like to navigate through relationships and the way that I choose to love, even with all of this stuff that I do, I still want my partner to feel like there is something that they only have access to.
Okay.
And that's my own thing,
Whitney saving all your love. All his love.
Which by the way, I still do photograph with other content providers. So if you want to link up for a shoot, that is still possible. Shout out to, I'm not gonna drop no names because y'all didn't pay me to drop no names, but shout out to some of the ones that I have worked with who you have seen on the page so far. But that is a possibility, is what I'm saying. I try to keep a level of control because, in spite of what people think about like sex workers, in spite of what people think about adult content creators, also as a go-go dancer, that's a whole other level of things that I have to deal with people that think they have access that's like not, really there, and having to take control over those spaces as well. Is don't assume because of that type of work that this person doesn't have boundaries, that they don't have integrity, that they don't have a moral compass that they still go by at the same time. That's your issue that you have if you assume that a person that does that type of work doesn't have a standard. Because, for that matter, it's a lot of y'all that tend to point those fingers and make these judgments about sex workers, and you doing the same shit that they're doing for free. I'm just saying. So, I do, I remind my subscribers, my fans, whatever you want to call them, to be just as respectful as I plan on being to them.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting way you navigate that space, because I thought about how just being a non-adult tech content creator, people love to come up in my space and be like, why would you be promoting this? You're telling people they need to be fat. And I was just like, and the thing that I said to them, I was like, doesn't every human deserve to love themselves?
Absolutely. And I feel like
it's a basic human thing.
I feel like a lot of people really don't understand sex positivity, body positivity. I don't think they understand that in those spaces you can promote health, you can promote all different types of things while still keeping that core message of love who you are, what you are, where you are.
I don't think people understand the where you are part. That's the part.
Yeah.
Where you with is silent, and that's how I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like even if you're on a journey of better health, it's like I want y'all to listen to this real good. I know for a fact that a lot of people I've talked to along this journey who have decided that they wanted to lose weight, the number one thing that I hear from them is that they did not learn to love themselves until after they lost the weight. Because what happened was they lost weight and they didn't know, they felt even more lost because they didn't love themselves as a bigger person. And then they thought that what was going to happen was he was going to lose weight and they was going to love themselves. And then they lost weight and realized, I still don't love myself. So they went into an even bigger conundrum. So I really want y'all to understand that like weight loss is not a one size fit all plan to happiness. You have to be happy from within.
Yeah.
And so if I can help you love yourself at the weight you at now, then all that's gonna do is fuel you to get to the place where you want to be innately anyway, which is fine. But loving yourself shouldn't be a part of that. Like, it shouldn't be missing from that equation, whether you're a 62 or 32. Like, you should love yourself at either one of those stages.
Yeah.
So that's interesting that you say that.
It is. It is. I wanna give a big shout out to one of my best homies. Very special force in my life. Shout out to Adam. He often reminds me the importance, and this is something for myself too, because I do it even now. Like, there's times that I will like stand in the mirror and I will talk so crazy to myself, and like it'll be like while we're in like a FaceTime call, and he's just like, "Yo, like, it's okay to want to change things, but like love who the fuck you are in the meantime. Like, you don't have to talk down on yourself."
That's a good one.
In that space. And so I often remind myself now, him having told me that over the years, is even in those spaces of like, if I want to change something, I can still love, the space. Like, think about it like, your home that you invested in. You don't put your blood, sweat, and tears into this place, but there's like this cosmetic thing you want to do inside of it. You don't say like, you know what? Fuck this office. I hate the way this shit looks. It's fucking ugly. I'm not going back into here until I can go and change this thing. No, this space is still helping you to make money. This space is still your like safe space that you appreciate being in. This vessel is still doing all of these amazing things for you. You gotta love it and nurture it in the meantime, and still see the beauty, of your existence. Even with wanting to make those changes.
I'm glad you said that. I was having a conversation with my sister earlier today, and I realized something. I realized that the able-bodied humans. I'm gonna say that because I know some of us aren't able-bodied, but able-bodied humans. If you quantify all of the things you do from the time you wake up to the time that you go to sleep, you realize that your body does a lot for you. How dare you not appreciate it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, my sister was going down the list of all the things she did today, and I was like, damn, humans do a lot.
Right.
And none of that was including breathing. None of that was including, like, pumping blood to your heart. None of it, like...
Right.
Just all the little unthought of minute things that your body just appreciated.
Yeah. Give your vessel, give yourself more grace.
Bop. That's
absolutely.
So, what I want to know also, something that I just thought of, is there an end point? Because I always thought about, as an adult creator, I think about it like I watch P-Valley, and I'm thinking about Mercedes, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, there is gonna be a point, right, where you might do the Last Dance a few times, but still, like, right? Because she done the Last Dance like at least 4 times at this point.
So it's funny. A group of I call them my go-go goddaddy. Shout out to Danny. Danny kind of like brought me back into the fold when I decided I wanted to start go-go dancing again about 5-6 years ago. I used to be a stripper, exotic dancer. There's a big difference between the two. Quick breakdown for y'all. A stripper actually starts in something. They strip, hence the name, down into less clothing and or no clothing at all. Strippers also do like lap dances. They do the private room thing as well. It's a different experience.
Come on, private dancers
versus go-go dancers are usually just in a static outfit. They're up on the box, and they're more so just like a part of the club atmosphere. And we are pretty much just, once they put us on that platform, we're on and we're dancing. There's been times when I've just gone like 4 hours straight. My legs were dead the next day, but it's an amazing workout. And those of you that have iWatches, always make sure you set it to dance mode.
I did not know. I did not know that.
So you can count your calories.
I always turn it on, but I didn't know there was a dance mode.
Yep, I sure do. I sure do. But we were just talking. About this because some of us are, starting to get up there in age a little bit, and especially in queer culture, it's a little crazy the way age is looked at sometimes.
It's not really that different than it is in heterosexual culture.
Yeah, but I mean,
a woman who gets,
especially in the circuit, and these like circuit parties and everything else. It's like once you're over 30, you're already looked at like, oh, you're still here, right? So it's funny. In a lot of these spaces, people assume that I am in my 30s, be it like early 30s or whatever. And so I'm like, no, baby, I'm in my 40s. And they're like, oh. So we were talking about that. We all like set the age that we were like, we would definitely not be dancing after this point. And so I've set my year. I was like, I think I'm gonna stop for sure at like 50. Like I don't see myself doing it past past 50.
It started at 50 and then you end up at Claremont Lounge.
I mean, listen, I'm gauging this on the fact that I still got Megan D's, right? I'm still able to get down there and drop it and get it in. But I mean, there's gonna be a point where they're gonna be more like Tisha knees.
Who's Tisha? Who her?
I'm still here. Here. Oh my God, Tisha Campbell, please, if you see this, I love you. Just take it as a joke, babe, please. It's like if my body is still able to handle it, and my partner is still able to handle it,
that's important.
Then I'm with it, And yes, I don't want to say it in a way like I'm just gonna be completely balls to the wall for the rest of my life and not care about what my partner thinks, because I do that does matter to me. If it's like, hey babe, like I prefer if you not do that. Now it's a conversation that we can have.
Run me them funds. What the real say? Send me the motherfucking funds, and then maybe we could discuss a potential arrangement.
I mean, again, hopefully, with all of this stuff that I'm doing, by the time that I'm 50, and if this ring that's on this hand is shifted over to this hand, between the two of us, there'll be enough financial freedom that I don't feel the need to do that. And to be honest, the money is great. I enjoy the atmosphere. I am not a person that really likes to go out that much. But I love if I got a gig, I get to listen to that music, I get to put on my crazy little outfits, I get to be up on that box. It allows me to be very, now that's, if that would be considered a kink or a fetish, I am very voyeuristic. I may not like to do a lot of things, but I certainly love to watch everything.
He like to be on the stage.
And so being able to literally look down and just see everything, I like create stories in my head, because like I'll see one person walk in, another person come in later on, start to see them interacting, they dancing together, that dancing together might go to kissing together, might go to taking each other's shirts off, or you see hands going under shirts, under skirts, and I'm like, oh yeah, they going to fuck. They definitely going to fuck.
And that's the whole story. Let's bring up this whole story, y'all. These people probably only just walked by each other, but
listen, I do enjoy a good amount of people watching, and so it's like it gives you the feeling of being in the atmosphere. But like I said, I feel like as a go-go dancer, you're almost like a part of you're part of like the lights and the music and everything else that's there. And even that, like there's times when I'm like dancing and I look down and I just laugh at it. Like there's somebody on the dance floor who's just looking up at me, just imitating every single move that I'm doing. And I'm like, not me doing go-go Zumba.
Where's the trail?
Right.
Here on the dance floor.
Exactly. And so there's definitely some enjoyment that comes out of that as well. And then as far as like the content, I've always said that if I had a partner that was just like, I absolutely cannot like handle this, I would be okay with like taking it down. But I mean, I have yet to encounter anyone that hasn't like either been like, babe, look at this new jock or look at this new thing. I think you should wear this for them, or babe, do you want me to take photos for you for this? They're usually pretty excited about it. I don't know if they're excited about it because they like the idea of it, or if they are like perfectly fine with the benefits of it, because the money's pretty decent. It's pretty decent.
I think just like in most things, men love to show off their trophies.
It could be that too, but I mean, but that's even in that case, it's not just men; it's women too. So I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say it's just that.
Okay, maybe. All right, we're showing off the trophies.
I mean, in that case,
cash every night.
Again, going back to the fact that I've never done actual sexual acts on there, but one of my female partners, like she enjoyed like shooting together, taking all kinds of like suggestive type of nude photos, and they loved it because I have a mix of subscribers as well. Male, female, trans men, trans women, non-gender conforming. So it's a space for everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
We have created the actual rainbow right on over on your page.
Butterfly in the sky.
Well, all right. So what I want to know in closing is, so if you can take a look back at your first sexual experience, actually, let me rephrase that. If you can if you can remember the first your first encounter in your 20s, because I feel like as a teen, that don't count. Like,
okay.
In your 20s, like what was that experience like, and what would you do differently now with all the knowledge you know or don't know, actually?
What do you mean? Like, was there like a bad experience? I wish I did something different, or
you know what? We can rephrase the question. What's one really bad experience from your 20s that you was like, if I knew what I knew now, this would have gone really well?
Okay. Let's go to early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
This is fresh coming back from Temple U.
Not fresh.
I just came back from Philly, moved back to New York, and I had hooked up with this was a friend. We were friends for quite some time, and I know not the best thing to do. But listen, the opportunity was there. I always kind of like had a thing for him, and I also always kind of had a thing for the girl that he was dating at the time.
Lord God, this story I get nice.
And it was just one of those. We were hanging out together. I was introduced to. I feel like Hennessy was like really, really new around that time.
Okay.
And you know with Henny, anything's possible.
It's you. Don't be blaming that.
Listen,
Jimmy
we
Fox
can.
told y'all, and I'm gonna untell y'all. Don't blame nothing.
Whenever you want to do this part 2, we can also talk about how I don't know. As of late, I've just been attracting a lot of couples, but that's for a whole other time. So back to the situation. We were getting it in. So like I said, I always kind of had like this thing for my homeboy, but never like actually felt that or knew if that was like a space that he was like into anything like that. But we started they started messing around, and I guess I kind of got pulled into it. Like they were doing their thing, like as close as we were. We are right now on the couch, and like hands just started like
we'll do it on my couch, y'all.
And places. This is not the casting couch, y'all.
It's not that couch.
Hands started moving in places, and next thing I know, it turned into one of those like she's kissing me, and then she's like kind of like nudging it's like a forceful type of nudge, for me to kiss him, and he kind of looked a little awkward, doing it at first, but it was fun. It was an experience. What I wish I knew better was, again, to just be kind of like more open about what I actually liked, what I was.
Don't do that. Do this.
Yeah, because that's that's another thing. See, I haven't been disclosing everything with you. So back in that voyeuristic place, I have been to we'll just call it what it is. Like I've been to like sex parties, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm usually not the one to like engage in the sex that's happening, but I do engage in the way that I love telling people what to do. So I feel like
some sex parties, you be hooking people up.
Yo, like in my next life, I need to try like being like a full-on dom, because
I did not know what Beyonce meant. I still don't know what she meant when she said queen in the front and the doms in the back. I don't know what that means. So when you just said that, I was just like, wait, is that what Beyonce was talking about?
I don't know if that's what she's referencing, but I realize there's something about me. Like, I really enjoy, like, being like, you kiss him, or, like, look at how this dude is standing right there. Like, get on your knees and suck his dick. Like, why are you just standing there looking stupid? Get on your knees and suck his dick. Oh. So.
I feel like you have a career in ASMR. That's what you can transition into.
Listen, what you're doing, just standing over there. Get on your knees and suck his dick. He's waiting for it, and he wants it now.
So, going back to that scenario, I feel like I really would have been able to dive in a lot more with that. With let's call it sexual coaching. Is what?
Oh my God, we're gonna call you Jelani, the sexual coach. That's my.
I like that. I think I would have enjoyed that in that space even more. And again, it was a lot of reserve. I was like worried about doing certain things, and instead of being so worried about it, I should just ask, like, do you like this?
Because we don't talk to each other.
Right. So that's what I wish I did better. And there was a particular part of the can I like go all the way in with like what happened during this? I mean, I feel like we've already gone so far. Like, why not? So there was a particular moment where she was like she was giving me head, and then she kind of nudged him over to like start doing it, and he was giving me head, and like she lifted up my legs, and like the most like just the wildest experience I ever had was having her eat my ass while he was sucking my dick, and it was just like the craziest feeling.
You let her eat your booty cat?
If I could turn back time, if I could go back, I wish I could get out of my body and like sit next to myself and just be like, nigga,
This some shit.
and it didn't happen that long.
I'm here for it.
Like, I wish I was, again, feeling just like more free and more comfortable with myself. Like, I really would have been like, yo, what the fuck you doing? Like, stopping. Like, get your ass right back down there and keep going. Because that was, yeah. Sorry. I went back there for a moment.
I see. All right.
Yeah.
Well, while he has all these flashbacks, we're going to go ahead and close out this episode because this is some good shit.
Whew. This was spicy.
I know, right? I really hope that y'all enjoy this extra spicy episode. Normally, with Daryl and I, we talk a lot about dating, which I love because I feel like there's a space, but now I'm feeling like I want to incorporate more sex specifically into the dating. So I think I'm going to start off by doing like a tip. I think I'm going to end or start, I'm not sure yet, the podcast with a tip. Like, I feel like there's so much about
like putting
sex.
the tip in or... We're no good together, y'all. We're no good.
Tip of the day. Stop telling girls to you just want to put the head in. That never works. Stop. That's the tip of the day. But tell people where they can find you on the internet if they're looking to find your
Absolutely
content.
So there's a few places you can find me for my regular, just mainstream content, influencing, brand ambassadoring, all around just fun, good times. You can go to Jelani _Malik, JELANI _MALEEQ. For the adult content, for finding the events where I am go-go dancing, if you want to come out and have a good time, you can go to JEYOSO. That is JEY _OSO.
Also,
And it's
so crispy.
gonna be oh so a good time. Oh so good to see you. So definitely come and check both of those out.
Okay. All right. Well, until next time, thank you all for listening to this extra spicy episode of the XL Tribesman podcast. Peace out.
Be safe and have lots of anal course.